welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen unboxing review. You can see it's a very small pen box, but it does say Hongdian M2 pen in caramel brown. So I think let's open this box, and you'll see it comes in this metal case, just like an old style pencil case that you would get over the years. If I open the lid on this box, you are going to see a Hongdian M2 in the caramel brown, and I almost dropped it. But this is a really interesting pen. You probably have seen that I had videos with the M2 in the red before. This is the caramel brown. I really do like this. I'm not normally a person that likes the small pocket-sized pens, but I started writing with the M2 and I really loved it. And that was with the red one, and I decided to buy a couple more. So this is it. You get the clip already sort of built into the pen. I think with the, I want to say with the other M2 I had, it was the clip you could move it, but you can't with this one. The clip itself is functional, and if I unscrew the cap, the body is really small. The section is very thin, but the good thing about this is if you post the pen, it actually posts to a decent size. Yes, the section is a little bit on the thin side for me. It does flute out a little bit here. The threads are definitely pronounced. You do feel them a little bit. And yes, it does have a very small nib. I want to say it's a number 5 nib. Might be a little bit smaller than that. But it's got an ABS plastic feed there. And then if I want to try and unscrew the cap, or unscrew the body here, you do actually get an international size converter. So that is interesting. There is also a little O-ring here as well on the threads there. You can't really eyedropper this pen. But you can see here, it really is a small pen. So if you've got small hands and you don't mind, or if you like pocket pens, then this might be the ideal size for you. If you like the idea of pocket pens like I do, but you're not really interested in them, then being able to post the cap like this actually really does work. So for me, this actually is a much more sizable pen that I can write with. I still think I would prefer the section being a little bit more girthier than it is, but it's not a bad pen. So I think with that, let's do a size check, and we'll do a weight check, we'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the full length of the pen, we are looking at 105 millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we're looking at 73 millimeters in length. And the length of the body, obviously this is going to be quite short. We are looking from tip of nib or tip of the tines. We're looking at 100 millimeters long. So that is quite a short pen, but as you can see, it definitely is short. I typically like a body of around about 130 millimeters plus, so this is short at 100 millimeters in length, but it is really considered a pocket pen, very similar to the Kavekos. I want to say Kaveco Sport, but this is more of an aluminium, I think. And it does say Hongdian M2 there as well. So I think with that, let's go and do a weight check. So the full weight of the pen, not inked up, is just under 24 grams in weight. The weight of the cap, we are looking at just under 11.5 grams in weight. And then the weight of the body, we're looking at just under 12.5 grams in weight. So you can see there that it's actually quite a decent weight of pen. It is, I believe, aluminium. At least it feels that way, and probably powder coated as well. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Conway Stewart Chatworth. We have a Cypress Maquier Goldfish. We have an Anoto University of Oxford Vermeil. We have a Visconti Opera Master Savannah. And this just looks comical. You have an Hongdian M2. It's almost half the size of the rest of my pens. Hence, I classify this as a pocket pen. You have a Visconti Opera Master Antarctica. We have a Leonardo da Vinci Machina. We have a Montegrappa, and this is a Game of Thrones, Winter is Here. We have a Visconti Last Templar Jacques de Molay. And we have a Montblanc Writer's Edition Jane Austen. But boy, is that pen short. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. Now, I am going to post this cap because it is too short otherwise for me, I think, to write with. So this is the Hongdian M2, and it is a medium nib, but it is a steel nib. Now, it does have feedback, and it is a black nib. It's a ruthenium coated nib, and typically I do find that they do have feedback on them. The ink in here today is Diamine Ochre. In terms of line variation, yeah, I think we probably are getting about a Western medium. I can push it a bit more to get towards a Western broad. But it is a steel nib, so you're not going to push it that far. And if I continue the vertical lines, there's no hard starts or skips. So I think the nib is tuned fairly well. I think let's do a ink wetness test. I think this is going to be wet. Yeah. And I think we'll do a horizontal pass here as well. So this is a wet nib for sure. Almost bordering on fire hose of a nib there. What do I like? What do I not like about the pen? I'm not into pocket pens, so I would say that that is a dislike for me. However, I already had an M2 gifted to me by a friend, Dr. Joe Rotolo, and I have been loving that pen. So, although I dislike pocket pens, I have been falling in love with the Hongdian M2 pens, and I just like that they are a small pen. I can throw it in my bag or my rucksack. I can attach it to a notebook. And I don't have to worry about it. It's not an expensive pen. So for me, I think there's a lot of pluses to this pen. But it's certainly not an expensive pen in terms of comparison to a Visconti or a Montegrappa that I have. So from that perspective, I think it's a really good pen for the price that it is. You're not going to get a gold nib on this. You're going to get a steel nib. But I think that's perfectly acceptable. Is there anything that else I dislike about the pen? I'm not normally a fan of ruthenium plated nibs. Ruthenium because it's black, and typically that plating is also plated to the underside of the nib, and that creates sometimes singing as you write. Sometimes it just feels like it's got a heavy pencil-like feedback. Now, you can fix that by smoothing the nib, the underside of the nib. I don't know if I'll do that or not. It's a very wet writing nib, so the nib actually writes really well. It's just got a bit of feedback. So there you have it. That's my unboxing review of the Hongdian M2. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.